Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 8 of my Let's Play series. And so as you can see, there's a couple new things here in this episode, but I want to first off thank Iron Matty for a while back giving me the name for the park. So we officially have a name, and it is going to be called Three Towers, as I stated in the last episode, and I'm going ahead and opening up the park. And so from here on out, the park will be opened up, because I know usually I kind of wait till the end, but I know a lot of people kind of like seeing the park open as you go, so as we can kind of see the guests starting to file into the park, or at least they're not running yet like they normally do. But as you can see, they come through this entryway right here, and they walk on this path. So, oops, there we go. So it is a crowd of people starting to come into the park. So I'm excited to kind of see how stuff works out. And I need to hire some mechanics and different stuff like that, because I technically haven't done that yet. But yeah, so as we come in the park now, there are a fair amount of things that have been changed this week that I've updated and fixed, and I'll show you guys lighting at the end. But first thing that I did was, I think last week I had put in this part, if I'm remembering correctly, but I just went ahead and kind of finished it up, put some strollers there, finished up this area for dropping off your strollers. That's where you rent the push chairs at. You guys are right, push chair does sound better than strollers, but I'm super excited for this, because I know last week I showed you guys this, but I finished out this area and I think it looks fantastic. So as you come over here, I decided to go with this actual wall piece and kind of decorate it around, and so here is the surrounding area around this this coaster. And so it is a lot of trees, but I definitely like how this turned out. And I kind of continued the colored blue to go with the color of the area, and I put the lamps in. And so if we go this way, we now have another flat ride. And so I kind of continued the style all the way up here, and I've got a little pergola there for it. And so we have one of the I always forget the name of this ride in game. So yeah, this area I think has turned out really nice, looks really good. Thank you Coaster Creations for recommending that I change the loop to more of a teardrop loop instead of the more rounded loop like it was. So I've gone back and done that. One thing I am going to look at possibly trying to do is creating some sort of little elevator here on the side that's attached that can kind of go up to the top, because those are some really steep stairs, for being perfectly honest, right? But yeah, I love how this area's turned out. I'd love your thoughts and opinions. And also, before we go to the other coaster over there, I'm trying to figure out what I want this part to look like. So I don't know if I want it to be a restaurant, because I personally am not a big fan of making actual restaurants, just because I know it's like interior stuff, but I know like you have them obviously in theme parks. Then I want this area to kind of be a kids ride. So I was going to kind of have it go up in the little mountain and different stuff, probably put in little tiny ponds and stuff. And I got the forge. And so here, I'm kind of trying to figure out what I want to do around this coaster. And so we'll kind of see. I'll probably end up deleting this. But I do actually have enough to be able to actually finish the backstage area here. And so hopefully this next episode I'll be able to fully get this area done. As you can see, I put in another flat ride. But one thing that I did was I built this store, and I might add some kind of dimension to it in terms of the top, because right now it's kind of just plain, kind of like the rest of them, and so it doesn't really stand out or pop. So I'll need to look into that. But yeah, so thank you once again to Tommy P, because I used all of his interior stuff that he put on the workshop, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm too lazy to do all this, and he did it better than I could, so why not go with it, right? So as you come in here, and there's also a walkway from over here to get here, but you got your souvenirs and stuff for the store. So make sure to check out Tommy Lee's 23 and his page, just to make sure if you want to download some of this stuff, it's all on the workshop under his name. So yeah, and then before we go over to the new coaster, so I lit this area up at night, so I've kind of added lights now. I still got to kind of add lights in the main kind of walk area right there, but I did add some blue panels underneath to kind of make the water look a little bit more blue. But yeah, so I've added lights to this area, so it's nice and lit up, and same thing over here, all nice and lit up. So really happy with how this is turning out. Right now I'm currently at 58%, but as those of you who followed any of my other parks know, I can get about an extra 30% based off blueprint items and stuff. And so I'm not really worried about it too much. So really I'm not even halfway there in terms of what I'll be able to build. And obviously you look at how massive this parking lot is and all this area, and I started kind of adding some rolling hills on the side where I could put trees and stuff to kind of make it seem like you can't really see out of the park. Let me get back into daytime. Alright, so now one other thing that I've done is I've kind of mapped out, so as you can see I've gotten rid of this right here, and it's because I want to add an actual small offices for my coaster park right here. And so I'd probably get offices here, have a maintenance area in this area, because then they can kind of all exit out that way. And then I mapped this out over here to where if I wanted to have another maintenance area I could. I don't know if I'll use it or not, but as you can see I was kind of trying to use the terrain paint to map out the edges of the park. Because this overall isn't too large of a map, and I think I will be able to use a fair amount of it. Just kind of depends on how much detail I go into with a lot of things. And so last thing is over here. If you guys watched the tutorial video I've done recently, this is the coaster from the tutorial video, and I've created a dual loading station. And so essentially, if you want to figure out how to do this, go watch the tutorial video, but I overlaid the track. As you can see, this is going left at the same degree as this one is going right, and the key is to try to make sure, you know, let's put these on test mode right now. So I'm gonna put this one on test mode about 10 to 15 seconds after this one goes, just so they're on different paths and stuff. So as you can see, that one's gonna be testing. So let's go ahead and ride the coaster. Alright guys, so that was the coaster. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but it's definitely got some Superman inspiration from the Six Flags parks, especially with this first park and then how it kind of turns through the loop. After that, it's basically my own kind of concept and idea. I'll need to figure out how to kind of custom support this this area where it goes over the station. By the way, if you put your stations exiting in opposite areas, you can have your stations kind of face each other, or your exits, so then you just have one exit path and you save on the Oswald percent that way. Yeah, so I like how when you look here, so if you're leaving this food area, you can kind of look and you see the pretzel loop right there. Like, that is a great shot. And so I'm going to kind of, you know, put cement in this area, kind of like a little tunnel. and I'll probably kind of section this area of the park off to where it's really just this ride. You know, I guess I could, if in theory, put in a flat ride in here or something if I wanted to, but I probably won't, because then I'd have to adjust this. So we'll see though. But I'm probably going to put some other buildings in here to kind of take up space, and I gotta figure out some area for like a kids spot, because I want to do like a legit kids area with like a kiddie coaster, couple of the kids rides, stuff like that. So we'll see. But yeah, I really appreciate all the support that I get from you guys during this, and as always, if you have any suggestions or any thoughts, I would love to hear them and try my best to implement them if possible. And so what are your thoughts on this week's episode? And as always, if you enjoy this video, make sure and hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date to our content, we'd love to have you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.